The Surrey Tigers basketball moves to 7-1, winning the SEC ACC Challenge with a 98-93 win over California. Joey Van Zummeren joined by Michael Sams here in Mizzou Arena for our reactions from this game. Obviously, the story in this one is Mizzou's 63-point second half, allow a 17-point run at the end of the first, and then have a strong response in the second. Michael, what are your thoughts from this one?
Well, it's not like that run. It wasn't delayed or anything like that. Mizzou came out in the second half, and they were swinging. They had it within 8 points within 2 or 3 minutes of the second half starting. And I feel like it doesn't need to be said too much, but the star of this game is going to be Ant Robinson.
Yep.
Everything he did in the second half was just incredible, and I think a lot of us and probably a lot of fans were puzzled by the choice to only play him 8 minutes in that first half. Sounds like it was a foul prevention thing. I guess in hindsight, it doesn't look too bad. If the outcome is different, you're probably saying, why didn't he play more? Why didn't he play, 5, 6 more minutes in the first half? But it worked out well, I guess. But his aggressiveness and creativity while getting to the basket and ability to draw fouls is the big thing. I believe he shot 13 free throws or around that number. Made 11 of them or so. So
13 for 15.
13 for 15. There we go. Yes. So high efficiency from the free throw line there, which is impressive, and clearly has the creativity with ball fakes and his body control to draw those fouls, but just his aggressiveness in general on offense. I mean, you could see when he's getting downhill and he operates, he can get defenders on his back and that sort of thing. He's a creative scorer, which we've seen a little bit, but this is the fullest to the extent. And when he's in that mid-range and in that paint area, hard to stop.
Yeah, exactly. Career high of 29 points for him on the night, and then 6 assists as well, like you mentioned, Michael. Just really able to see the court really well when he gets down there. He's great on defense, too. We saw that tonight as well. Peyton Marshall also had a great game. Josh Gray goes out on this one. Peyton Marshall subs in, does just fine. Dennis Gates talked afterwards just about how coachable Peyton Marshall has become. I think my main takeaway from this one is just the energy that this team had in the second half, which I know is an intangible thing, but Dennis Gates talked about it, and the leadership the players took, the mindset they had coming out of halftime, and Mark Madison, the California coach, noticed it too, just the energy, tenacity this team came out with, just such a change of tone compared to last year and even against Memphis, where this team was on the opposite side of collapsing in the second half. So Anthony Robinson was a big part of that. Tamar Bates was a big part of that. There was quite a few plays where it felt like California got a big energy swing play, and then Tamar Bates came back with a response on the other end of the court. So, like I said, Mizzou at 7-1 on the season, win that they needed before facing Kansas on Sunday. Michael, any other thoughts before we close out here?
Yeah, I mean, just great offensive performance in that second half, great defensive performance in the second half. KU's not a team you're going to be able to afford to get down early, like that against. And no disrespect to California, they played a pretty darn good basketball game, and they might be around in March, but they're not Kansas, and you're not going to be able to fall behind by 18 points in the first half against the Jayhawks and expect to come back and win. So got to keep that in mind. Have to be on the jump early, and it's going to be an interesting game plan, and I don't know what they're going to throw at Kansas, but it's a darn good basketball team, and Dennis Gates and his roster has their hands full with that one.
One last thing before we close out that was noticeable tonight. Mizzou only took 9 shots from outside the arc, I believe mostly in the first half, really. And Mark Madsen, the California coach, again, said that he noticed that and that it's likely due to Caleb Grill not being in this game. He's wearing a neck brace on the sideline during today, or the bench, and conflicting reports out there. Dennis Gates said yesterday, though, that he is day-to-day, so we'll see. I'm not a doctor, but I would be surprised to see Caleb Grill go from a neck brace to playing against Kansas in a few days. So there's that. Obviously going to change up the game plan a little bit. But Mizzou gets a momentum-building win against Dennis Gates' former team before heading into the toughest match they'll face in this regular season.